What is up, everyone? The LDB is back at it again, coming at you today with my heroic negotiator dilemma build for TU9. Now, there wasn't any gameplay in the beginning of this video because I recently uploaded a solo heroic run showing the strength of this build, so be sure to check that out if you have not already. Also, on that video, I had asked for 100 likes to drop the build, and let me tell you, those likes came much faster than I had anticipated. So can we shoot for like maybe 150 on this video? Can we do that, you think? That would really make me feel great. So as always, I hope you enjoy and find this video helpful. If you do, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button, subscribe for future Division content. You can hit me up on Twitter at LDB Gaming, and feel free to drop a comment down there below. So let's get into this. Alright everyone, and here it is. So as you can see up top there, I'm going to be using the sharpshooter specialization simply because we get that extra weapon stability for using it, and on a primary weapon that does jump around a little bit, that is definitely going to help out. Now as far as the sharpshooter, we also get these handy dandy flashbang grenades that I absolutely love. They have a very big radius, and if you can chuck one of these out there before the NPCs know that you're there, you flash them all, and you can mark them very easily and just dump your ammo. You watch all that damage spread, and you can essentially take out a handful of NPCs before the fight even starts. Very crucial for this build, but again, do not think that you are confined to just the sharpshooter. I tested with multiple specializations, and they all seem to work, so you could always hit them with the foam, with a fire, whatever you want, whatever your preference may be. Now, as far as the core attributes go, we have 6 reds, 0 blue, and 0 yellow, so we are going all DPS on this build. And the minor attributes, we have 10 reds, 1 blue. We got 1 straggler there. I mean, it is what it is, though. And we also have 0 yellow on there as well. So just as much DPS as we can put out. And as far as the armor goes, we're talking 726,000, the health 279,000, and the skills that I'm going to be going with are basically just a double heal. We have the Restorer Hive and the Fixer Drone. I was going with the Reviver Hive, essentially the blue, and I figured, you know, in case I go down, that would be the better option, but I was actually going down because I was not healing enough. So I just went with the double heals, and everything cleared right up, and it made my life a whole lot easier. So other than that, let's get on to these weapons. Alright, so for my primary weapon, it is the Manic, the named AK assault rifle. I absolutely love this weapon. It's honestly probably my favorite weapon in the game. Call me crazy, but this thing hits like a truck. Plus, I'm a big fan of the AK platform, so it is what it is. This one's hitting for 124.4k per bullet base damage. I know it has that slower RPM of 600, but at the same time, that will actually help us out in the long run, and I will show you why in just a moment. We got 50 in the mag, and the attributes, not too bad. 15% assault rifle damage, 19.5 health damage, and just a little bit, 6.2 accuracy. I wish that accuracy was all the way up there, or at least a little bit farther. That would have helped out for sure, but again, the talent is what makes the weapon. Perfect overflowing. Every 2 reloads from empty increases your base magazine capacity by 100%. Absolutely awesome. And the reason this is amazing is because when you have all these marked NPCs, if you get that second reload, boom, all those bullets in your mag, and you can just dump and just wipe them out. Absolutely awesome. And with the slower RPM, you don't burn through your ammo all that fast. So in my opinion, this is a very well-balanced, underrated weapon. If you haven't tried it yet, definitely go out and get one, and I'm telling you, you will fall in love with it. Now, as far as the mods go, pretty basic, nothing special here. We got the C79 scope, 5% crit chance. We got the plus 20 rounds for the mag. Got the 5 crit chance laser pointer. And we have the 5 crit chance muzzle brake. Nothing crazy, pretty straightforward on that. Now, on to my secondary. Alright, so for my secondary, I'm going to be using a Pestilence, everyone's favorite. I freaking love this weapon, and ever since we can recalibrate it, I love that even more. And we got some pretty good rolls on this one, I can't complain. We got 104 per bullet base damage on the dot, 605 RPM with 100 in the mag, 14% LMG damage attribute with 11 damage to target out of cover, and maxed out 6% damage to armor. Gotta love that right there. Now I want to point something out to you guys really quick before we move on. This Pestilence right here, hitting for 104k, even if I had a piece of Petrov on boosting it another 10%, would still not be hitting harder than the Manic. And the reason I bring this up is because the RPM. 600 RPM to 605. And the Pestilence is everyone's favorite. And I know why, the Plague of the Outcast, obviously that's a big thing right there. But also with this weapon, we're hitting harder per bullet, and we can get the extra magazine size comparable to the Pestilence. So just keep that in the back of your head when you're choosing your weapons. We're going to go over a couple other very good weapons that you could use with this build in a second here. But as far as the Plague of the Outcast goes, this is where it's at. I absolutely love this. If you can mark them and spread that damage and then spread the Plague of the Outcast all over I mean, they just go down like nothing. Hits apply a debuff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. This stacks up to 50 times. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, all stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. That is awesome. So we're going to be marking them. We're going to be hitting them with the Plague of the Outcast, doing damage to multiple NPCs at one time. It gets nasty real quick with these two weapons. Definitely try these two out. Okay guys, so before we go ahead and move on, really quick, I'd like to go over a couple of weapon alternatives, since I've been getting a lot of hate comments lately about, I don't have this weapon, I can't make this build, I stopped watching, I dislike because of this weapon, whatever, because I don't have it, or whatever the case may be, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this one's for you guys. Listen up, okay? Here we go. I'm going to break it down for you. If you do not have a Manic named high-end AK assault rifle, use a regular AK. Use an M4. Use whatever your little heart desires, whatever you are more comfortable with. That's what I usually tell people, because the more comfortable you are with the weapon, the more shots you are going to land. That's in real life or in a video game. Test it, tried it. It's the way it is, guys. I'm telling you, right there. So I hope that clears things up as far as the assault rifles, or really weapons in general. Just put your own touch on it. You don't have to always copy and paste what I'm doing. I'm just trying to give you guys ideas. Now, as far as the secondary goes, the exotic, really you could use whatever you want. The Eagle Bear, extremely viable. The Chameleon is very viable. Once you get those stacks up, it definitely does do some damage, although I'm not the biggest fan of it, but some people love it. So, hey, if it's working for you, use it. Try it out. Now, as far as the Bighorn goes, I tried this out. This worked amazing, but it was 100% situational. Absolutely. Because if you can mark a handful of NPCs and then scope in and do 450% weapon damage that is going to spread, that's big damage right there, and you're going to be dropping NPCs like crazy. But again, it is more situational, so I really didn't want to showcase that at all. Now, if you are an LMG guy and you don't have the Pestilence, for instance, and you have a Bullet King, try this out. This is amazing. This weapon never needs to be reloaded. It says it right there. So you are going to be constantly marking and dumping on NPCs that are just not going to like it. They're not going to like it. This thing worked out amazing, but I went with the Pestilence because I wanted to go with like the double status effect, essentially. You mark them, they're going to be taking damage from the weapon damage, and that's going to spread, as well as the Pestilence on top of it. So, I hope that kind of breaks things down for you guys, and hope that clears some things up. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's get on to the good stuff, and we'll start right here with the mask. It is Negotiator's Dilemma. We have the 4-piece active. The 2-piece gives us that plus 15% crit hit chance. The 3-piece gives us plus 20% crit hit damage. Nice. And the 4-piece gives us the talent Hostile Negotiations. Critical hits mark enemies for 20 seconds up to 3 marks total, and 3 marks meaning 3 NPCs. I originally thought it was 3 marks per NPC, but that's not how it works. I think they worded that a little goofy, but either way, moving on. When you critically hit a marked enemy, all other marked enemies take 60% of the damage dealt. So again, like I was saying, if you can flashbang them or stun them, something like that beforehand, mark a couple NPCs, and then just dump on one of them, it's going to spread to the other NPCs, and you can drop them like flies. And we're going to push that even farther with the backpack. I'll show you that in just a moment. Now, whenever a marked enemy dies, gain plus 2% crit hit damage, stacking up to 20 times, or until combat ends. So this is perfect for those solo heroic missions, or the longer missions, boss battles, things like that, where you're in combat for a longer time, and you're just dropping NPCs that are all marked. And again, you drop them fast when everything spreads out. You drop them a lot faster than you think, so you're going to get these stacks up very, very quickly. And again, that's another 40% crit hit damage. Gotta love that right there. Now, as far as the attributes go on this piece, we have 15% weapon damage and 10.2% crit hit damage. For some reason, it does not show the mod on some pieces for the mask. I don't know what the deal is with that, but regardless, we have a, let's see here, 11.2% crit hit damage mod on the mask, and that's about that for the mask. Let's get on to the chest piece. Alright, so for the chest, it is Fenris. We get that plus 10% assault rifle damage just for wearing it. The attributes, 15% maxed out weapon damage, 9.9% explosive resistance. So, hey, if I'm going to leave a blue on there, that's probably the one I'm going to leave, right? 6% crit hit chance, 11% crit hit damage mod with the talent Unbreakable. I really recommend Unbreakable if you're going to be doing those solo heroics. If you're with a team, I mean, hey, you could always switch it up, whatever, but I'm really a big fan of Unbreakable. I know a lot of other people are, because when your armor is depleted, repair 95% of your armor. Cooldown is 60 seconds. Once a minute, you can break your armor, and it goes right back to full, or 95% full, right? So that right there will definitely help you out a lot. Now, if you wanted to switch over and go with a Negotiator Chest, if you're lucky enough to find one, I got pretty lucky with this one. Someone actually gifted this to me, so shout out to you, buddy. I appreciate it. But the point being is the talent down here, Target-Rich Environment, increases hostile negotiation mark count from 3 to 5. So instead of 3 NPCs marked, you can have 5 NPCs marked. And that is really awesome, but again, you know, the Unbreakable is definitely where it's at for me. If you're going to be running with a team, you could always swap this out, and, you know, hey, that works just as good. That way you'll be doing that much more damage to more NPCs. Alright, so moving on to the holster, it is also Negotiator's Dilemma. We have the core attribute, 14.9% weapon damage. They couldn't give me the 15, really. Like 14.9, guys. I mean, come on. 5.6% crit hit chance, just pushing that crit chance as much as possible, because again, you got to remember, Negotiators goes off of crit hits. So on to the knee pads, they are Seska. We get that plus 10% crit hit chance for wearing them, 13.9 weapon damage, 6% crit chance, and 11.5 crit hit damage. So essentially crit chance, weapon damage, crit damage. I mean, just stack that as much as you can. Now as far as the gloves go, they are also Negotiators, 14.8% weapon damage. Again, 14.8, you couldn't just throw the 15 on there? Either way, 6% crit hit chance on there to max that as much as we can. And on the backpack, this is where it's at. It is also Negotiators. We have the core attribute, 12.6 weapon damage. That could be better, but I really wanted to push the crit hit damage, and we definitely did so. 12% maxed out on the piece itself with an 11.1% crit hit damage mod. And the talent, Critical Measures, increases hostile negotiations damage to additional marked enemies from 60 to 100%. So if you can mark 3 NPCs and you're shooting one, you're shooting 3 of them at one time. 3 of them are taking 100% of your damage. That is absolutely amazing. I love this, love this, love this build. Definitely try this one out, especially with the chest piece and the backpack talents. Mess around with those, see what fits for you, and you know, I will catch you on the next one. Alright everyone, so before we go ahead and sign off, let's just do a quick little recap breakdown here on the stat sheet. Now again, the weapon talents that I'm using, Perfect Overflowing for my primary, Plague of the Outcast on my secondary. On my sidearm we have Preservation, which I really don't even use, but hey, it's there. We have some 50 BMG rounds that we carry around, can't go wrong with those. Now as far as the weapon stats go, we're talking 124k per bullet base damage, and we have 60% crit hit chance maxed out, gotta love that there, with 115.6 crit hit damage. Now you have to think also with the stacks on Negotiators getting maxed out, that's going to push that another 40%. So we're smacking them pretty hard with this. 55% headshot damage, 20% health damage, 31 range, 2.8 second reload time, a little bit of accuracy, little stability, nothing too crazy there. Now as far as the offense goes, we're talking 92.2% all weapon damage bonus. Gotta love that right there. 40% assault rifle damage bonus, so those two combined, I mean, we're talking a big chunk of damage that we're going to be outputting. I absolutely love this build. Now as far as the gear talents go, we're talking about Critical Measures on the backpack and Unbreakable on the chest. And the gear brand sets that we're using, 4-piece Negotiators, 1-piece Fenris, 1-piece Seska. Pretty straightforward on that, nothing too crazy to go out and farm. Now as far as defense goes, we're talking 726,000 armor, not too bad. I mean, we are a little bit squishy, but at the same time, the amount of damage that we can do to multiple hostiles is overwhelming for the most part that I've found. Now as far as the max health goes, we're talking 279, a little bit of health regen, really nothing too crazy. A little bit of explosive resistance there, look at that. Little tiny bit of hazard protection too. I really got to work on that and on my watch for sure. Now again, as far as the hive goes, we are working with the Restorer Hive, and we are going with the Fixer Drone. And there you have it, my Negotiator Dilemma build for TU9 that is specifically great for those heroic missions. I hope you all enjoyed and found this video helpful. If you did, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button, subscribe for future Division content. You can hit me up on Twitter at LDB Gaming, and feel free to drop a comment down there below. So until next time guys, I hope you take it easy, be safe out there, I'll see you then, later.